Welcome to Level Up, the video game podquiz, where we stick our heads down the barrel of the video game industry news cannon and dare it to fire. This week's show is a little different, as we're unable to do the regular panel quiz, so instead I'm delighted to say that this week's player is you. I still have my 6 imaginary boxes, each of which contain a question rooted in a news story from the past 7 days. I'll read the question as I normally would and leave a small gap, so if you want to play along you can pause the playback to have a think, hit Google, or deal with that irritating itch on the end of your nose before I reveal the answer. So, question 1. Why is you abysmal? That wasn't me having a grammar crisis or trying to be urban. This is a story that Dan Edelman, Nintendo of America's former indie department head, has put a large portion of the blame on the Wii U's failure to reach expected sales targets on its branding. Edelman believes the sales aren't a fair reflection of the console's ability or potential, particularly in relation to what the gamepad can offer, but mostly he believes that the name alone caused enough confusion in the market to halve sales, calling the Wii U name abysmal. Question 2. What is roaming onto PC? This is the news story that Xbox One launch title Rise, Son of Rome is heading to PC later this year. In the wake of Crytek's reported financial troubles and downscaling, it's good to see they've been focusing resources and working on something that people have really been crying out for. Expect benchmark runners and more money than sense 4K monitor owners to snap it up. Question 3. Why might Amazon Fire TV owners be getting in a flap? Flappy Bird. Remember that? Yes, the iOS sensation from the beginning of the year that was removed by its creator Don Gungayan, apologies if my pronunciation is wrong, over fears it was too addictive, which subsequently led to him receiving death threats and a spate of clones hitting app stores, is now back, in a form, as Flappy Bird's Family, which in addition to new birds and new obstacles, also offers player versus player and is currently only available through Amazon's App Store for its Fire TV set-top box device. Whether it will appear on Apple's or Google's stores remains to be seen. Question 4. How can you be bored playing XCOM? This week, Fantasy Flight Games, publishers of board games such as Eldritch Horror, Battlestar Galactica and Game of Thrones, announced they've teamed up with XCOM developers Firaxis to produce a cooperative board game version. In addition to a game board and action cards, the game, for up to 4 players, will also require the use of a free digital companion app as players attempt to destroy UFOs, research alien technology, defend their base and uncover the alien invasion plan. The game will launch at $59.95 before the year is out. No word yet on UK pricing. Question 5. Whose change of policy has left users feeling twitchy about continuing? This is streaming service Twitch, who announced that they are to start using Audible Magic to scan saved streams to locate any copyrighted audio, whereupon the complete audio from the stream will be removed for the 30-minute window in which the copyrighted audio appears. Twitch acknowledged the tool is imperfect and can create a false positive result, at which point users can start the trawl through the bureaucratic hell of filing a counterclaim. Alternatively, they could just jump to an alternative service such as Hitbox, as some Twitch users are already doing. Twitch also announced that they will no longer store saved streams indefinitely, with the limit now being reduced to 14 days for standard users and 60 days for paying subscribers and partners. Twitch also announced the closure of its forerunner, the Justin.tv channel, along with the deletion of all users' saved streams, with no prospect of any of them being recoverable. Question 6. What makes the UK epic? This is Unreal Engine developers Epic, who have established a UK centre of operations in Sunderland. Really? Sunderland? Okay. Following the purchase and integration of Pitbull Studio. There'll also be offices in Guildford and Leamington Spa, with the 3 sites collectively working on the Unreal Engine 4 and offering support to UK and European licensees such as Batman Arkham Knight developers Rocksteady and Dead Island 2 developers Jaeger. Epic Games UK will be headed by Unreal Engine 4 lead programmer James Golding, who after 12 years working at Epic's US HQ is said to be glad to be back on home soil and looking to recruit the best UK talent. And that was the news quiz. How did you do? I bet you were brilliant. A few other news snippets that didn't make it as a quiz question. Californian Douglas Lador is suing Sony because the multiplayer of Killzone Shadowfall on PS4 uses a technique called temporal reprojection to fill the gaps in a 960 by 1080 render to 1920 by 1080 for output to screen, rather than the direct 1920 by 1080 the single player uses. Guerrilla Games producer Poria Torkin has stated that the image output to screen is unscaled in both single and multiplayer, and as such fits the established definition of a native 1080p. Lador and law firm Edelson PC disagree and accuse Sony of deceptive marketing over its claims that Shadowfall's multiplayer should be considered native 1080p, and are so hurt and damaged by this they want $5 million. $5 million. A Variety study found that American teens are more influenced by YouTubers than other entertainers, with the likes of Katy Perry and Johnny Depp now having less sway with American youth than the likes of PewDiePie and the Smosh chaps Anthony Padilla and Ian Hecox. Why anyone would take influence from an entertainer remains a mystery to me, irrespective of their chosen medium. Activision's publishing president and CEO Eric Hirschberg, great name by the way, like a 2/3 submerged chocolate bar, confirmed what retailers have been whispering, that pre-orders are falling and that even the big AAA franchises such as Call of Duty are not immune to consumers' increasing reluctance to buy into the hype, though there are still plenty of suckers out there who'll throw money at a promise. Publishers accept that they've fooled all the people for some of the time and are now fooling some of the people all the time, and are unlikely to change tack as long as significant numbers continue to make purchases against their long-term interests. And finally, people have been tuning in to watch a live stream of a fish playing Pokemon. A fish. Normal service will resume next week. Bye! Level Up was hosted by me, Kev Furlong, and was a fairly whirly production. A fish.